Hi, my name is Andrew James, and this is my quantitative study. Using the Google Groups feature of Google Classroom, students will work in discussion groups and work with mathematics. Google Classroom is Google's free learning management system where instructors can post assignments, notes, calendars, assessments, and announcements. This is useful for teachers because it allows for quick communication and organization. It also allows teachers to grade assignments and submit feedback very quickly, and it allows the use of other Google apps such as Docs, Sheets, or Slides. Google Classroom is also able to be downloaded as an app on tablets and smartphones, allowing access almost anywhere. Parents can also be easily connected as well as students, and these parents can view what students are working on or upcoming assignments. Instructors can also present the opportunity for students to post work or questions to classmates and create discourse online via discussion threads. We're going to focus on the discussion threads using Google Groups. Discussion forums are a new medium in education over the past 20 years. According to Garrison, discussion groups are a way to establish a community of inquiry and can help engage learners in deep thinking. A teacher's job is to establish real boundaries with professional language so that students can maintain professional and cordial relationships while learning about a topic. Discourse in the mathematical classroom is often something forgotten for many teachers. Classrooms are set up in rows and are not given opportunities for discussions and problem solving. This online forum, students could discuss specific problems, share ideas, and display mathematical knowledge, and it is an excellent place for discourse. This could happen outside of the classroom, and the teacher builds this community of inquiry. So in online learning, or e-learning, this guides learners and creates engaging community conversations and promotes deep thinking and collaborative learning. It also encourages critical reflection and discourse through conversations, writing, inquiry, debates, and instruction. Through effective communication focused on academics, students can express themselves in their online writing through content and self-disclosure. Overall, students could have more opportunities to discuss math and learn the content together. Because discourse affects group thinking, we are going to focus solely on the critical thinking aspect. Because Google Classroom can be used to encourage group discussion, this leads to improved critical thinking and to skill transfer. So this discussion not only increases the group effort between the students, but also encourages critical thinking and problem solving. Transfer is very important in all subjects because it allows for the smaller fundamental skills to be applied to high-order thinking problems and to other contexts. My research question is, to what extent can Google Classroom discussion forums influence critical thinking in mathematics? This question is partially based on some qualitative research by Seo and quantitative research by Jacob and Sam. Seo discovered that online learners improve their critical thinking abilities after participating in discussions with an instructor after 1 week. Jacob and Sam measured student abilities to critically think after taking part in discussion forums involving difficult problems for groups to solve. In this experiment, we will follow the experimental design to simulate Jacob and Sam's experiment to a certain degree. We will have two randomly assigned groups in math class, the experimental group with discussion forums and the control group without discussion forums. Both groups will take a pre-test and post-test involving critical thinking, and we will compare the results. My population is all math students in middle school. We will start with convenience sampling to find a sample from one teacher willing to participate, followed by the condition assignment. Convenience sampling is not based on probability, but it is where the sampling is an audience willing to participate, and we only need one teacher to agree to the experiment. Participants will be assigned randomly to either the control or experimental group. Random assignment will work best for the situation because each member of the sample has an equal and independent chance to be assigned a group. Each condition will have 30 participants assigned to it to find the acceptable quantitative data. Data will be collected after participants take a pre-assessment and post-assessment on procedural and conceptual knowledge. The questions on procedural knowledge will be multiple choice, and the questions on critical thinking and problem solving will be extended response requiring explanations. Critical thinking will be measured with extended response questions based on the problem solving and explanations to see what students are thinking throughout the problem. Here are some examples of the questions for students. The multiple choice question examples could be, if you sleep for 8 hours per day, what % of the day are you sleeping? How can you find the volume of a crayon using familiar formulas of shapes? Some extended response conceptual questions include, estimate the surface area of the walls of this room, justify your answer. Jordan has $180 and earns $12 per hour, and Nora earns $15 per hour. After how many hours of work will Nora have more money than Jordan? Create a scatter plot and write an equation of the line of best fit from the data. Describe the relationship between the independent and dependent variable. The procedure. After finding the students using convenience sampling, students and parents will sign their consent forms. Students will be randomly assigned to the experimental or control condition. Once the research begins, we will first complete the data collection and analysis of student pre-assessments for the mean and standard deviation. The pre-assessments over prior knowledge also help us avoid confounding variables. All students in the experiment will continue to have their daily math lessons, homework, and expectations. Students in the experimental group will participate in weekly group discussions covering problems that involve critical thinking. They will be required to solve the problem and explain their answer, as well as comment on at least 2 other student responses. This participation will be required. The control group will continue class as normal. After 9 weeks of discussions, data will then be collected in the form of post-assessment, and the mean and standard deviation will be analyzed again. The reliability will be established through inter-rater reliability so that there are no inconsistencies with the scoring of the extended response questions. 2 raters will grade these questions and compare the results to find Cohen's kappa. The validity will be established by not only triangulating the participation of the discussion forum, the grades on the pre and post assessment, but we are also going to talk about content validity, because we could ask any expert in the field of math if the items cover what is desired. We are also checking for internal validity. This is established after the experiment if all the students increase their critical thinking, so that means the variables changed and our condition worked. The threats can be eliminated by the existence of a control group and by randomizing the conditions. Other threats such as history and maturation do not exist because of the short time frame for the experiment, and the instrumentation threat will be eliminated because there will be 2 scorers and a rubric for all extended response questions. We will also establish external validity by completing the experiment again on another group of students later on and generalizing the results. The biggest threats will be eliminated by not including the experimenters during testing and eliminating pretest sensitization by having a pretest. We're also using a pretest to, of course, eliminate confounding variables. Data analysis. We will use an independent sample t-test at first to check if pre-test scores differ between the experimental and control groups. We will then do the same t-test on the post-test to see if the scores differ greatly between the experimental and control groups. We will analyze the mean for the average score and the standard deviation to determine how close together the scores are and find the variation between the participants' scores. Here's my list of references I've used. Thank you.